y'all, Farmer Dre back at it. Folks, I am out here in the strawberry field. It is December and it is time to go ahead and start covering up our strawberries with row covers. The temperatures have been getting colder. We have mildly been getting colder. We had a few nights in the 20s, but the strawberry plants have been looking good and strong. But it is time for us to cover strawberries. So in today's video, we are going to talk about the reasons why we cover strawberries and the process of how we cover strawberries with row covers here on our farm. So I want to show you guys real quick our new style of deer fence here on our farm. As many of you guys know, if you guys have been watching the channel for many years, we don't have perimeter deer fencing. We are working on that, but it's just really costly to do that. So one thing that we've been doing for the past couple years on strawberries is a double layer deer fence. So we have 2 rows of T-posts here, 4 foot apart. And last year I was running electric fence, but I was up at our produce supplier up in central Missouri, and I came across this cucumber netting. And I asked them, hey, is this cucumber netting any good? Is it UV rated? People from over there were like, yeah, it's meant to stay outside for your cucumbers trellis. So I thought about and I bought some. So what we did is, this is 5 foot tall, and we did put 2 rows of 5 foot tall cucumber fencing, and it works phenomenal as deer fence. So a little bit of science about the deer. Deer have the eyes on their side of their head, so they can't see perception. So whenever they look at this fence, they don't know how tall and how far this fence is, but it works phenomenal for preventing deer from coming into the field. So that's what we got to do now, is take this double layer deer fence down so we can go ahead and put the row covers on the strawberry field here. But the strawberries are looking phenomenal and we are super excited. But I got to take this deer fence down, cutting the zip ties, and we will go ahead and start rolling row covers out. So we are here in the field now. I'm out here with Jet. He's gonna help us out with the row covers. But these plants this year, folks, are looking phenomenal. This is probably the best fall planting plants that I've seen in a long time. The plants are looking really good. We put the deer fence up really early after planting. At least we tried. So the right here, this variety is Camarosa. We can see here, folks, we didn't really get time to pull the runners off, but I don't think that's gonna do much. Look at that. These plants are absolutely ginormous. Camarosa, and this row right here is Ruby June. See the darker leaves, but these plants are looking at really big as well. So if anything goes good, and Lord willing, we're gonna have an awesome strawberry crop this spring. In the Ruby June here, there is slight signs of that Neo-P disease, like those 2 plants dead right there. So I'm a little concerned about that, but it's very spotty and just in the Ruby June. So we have 13,000 of those planted, or 15,000. I can't remember exactly, 13 or 15,000. But the rest of the plantings are different varieties. So we have Camarosa, Fonterra, Surfline Warrior, Monarch, Victory, and the SB025. So this year, my strategy to combat the Neo-P disease is to plant multiple varieties and not put all of our eggs in one basket. But so far, folks, these plants are looking great. So the way we grow our strawberries out here on our farm, we are in Southwest Missouri. So all of our strawberries are grown on Plasticulture system. We lay down mulch down, and then we transplant our strawberries in September. Then we overwinter them. So it takes September and October, November, December to grow out the strawberries in the fall. We cover them up in December. In the spring, early to late March, depending how the weather is, we uncover the strawberries. We go ahead and start tending to the plants, start spraying them, start pulling weeds. And in April, they are full bloom. And then in May, we harvest our strawberries. So it's a pretty quick process, 9 months. It works the best in our area. It's the most efficient. But we grow our strawberries on a Plasticulture system. And there's a lot of produce guys who grow a lot of vegetables. We grow all of our pumpkins on the farm with this plastic mulch and drip tape. So it is very efficient. It keeps the plants very happy, no weeds, so it works out really good. So we are going to go ahead and disconnect the chisel plow from the case and connect the pallet forks, the 3-point pallet forks. So all of our sandbags are in bins on the back fence line. Row covers in the fall goes pretty quick. The only thing that sucks about row covers is covering and uncovering in the spring season. That's probably the worst, but putting them on in the fall for the first time isn't that terrible. It is a lot of work, but it's not the worst thing ever. So I just got done moving all the row covers to the end of the rows. They look like big marshmallows, but they are the row covers. So we have 2, 4, 5, and 8. And I gotta bring one more row here. So we have 9 sets of row covers that cover about 4 acres of strawberries. One of the biggest hidden costs of strawberries is row covers. These row covers are, give or take, $1,000 a piece. Those 2 new rolls that I got there, I paid $1,100 a piece for them. So, you know, we have $10,000 stuck in row covers just so we can potentially save the crop from freezing. It's not a guarantee, so it all depends on the fluctuation of temperature. These row covers, we put them on now when the temperature is about 20 degrees at night, you know, 35, 40 degrees during the day. But if it does get below 0 degrees, these row covers can only do so much. So a strawberry crown out in the open in the field can take up to about 15, 12 degrees. And with these row covers, we're hoping in the winter to get about 5 to 7 degrees worth of coverage to keep these plants nice and healthy and keep them from freezing, the crowns from freezing. Because if you get crown damage, then all your production goes by the wayside. So it's a very tricky and very complex process. I, as a strawberry farmer, been growing strawberries for 6 years now. I truly fully don't understand the extent of row covers in the fall season as winter prevention, cold prevention. In the spring season, we use these row covers to protect the blossoms from freezing during a frost event. So the row covers do help between 2 to 5 degrees in the spring season. So let's say we have hundreds of thousands of blooms out here and it's getting down to 28. We put the row covers on and the row covers will protect the blooms from freezing. But in the winter months, our main goal is to protect that crown from freezing so that we don't have any winter injury or cold damage. So it is very, very expensive. Row covers they're just not fun at all. And then of course the boys, Jen, Isaac, are doing the sandbags over there. There's a hidden cost in the sandbags as well. And of course all the labor that goes, and it's, you know, it's a full day job out here. There'll be 4 of us out here covering the strawberries. So it is not fun, but it still works, and we try to do our best to produce as many strawberries as we can. So we like to use a 1 ounce to 1.5 ounce row cover. They sometimes make an 1.25 ounce. So these new rows that we have are the Pro 34. They are a 1 ounce row cover. They're 50 foot wide, 500 foot long. We have some 1.5 ounces over there, and of course those are 1.5 ounces over there as well. So it's just the thickness. The ounces are the thickness of the row cover itself. The thicker the cover, the more protection you're going to get. But the thicker the row cover, the less breathable it is. So like if it gets 60 or 70 degrees, you know, like it has before at Christmas or into the new year, into January, February, then they don't allow the thicker row covers don't allow the strawberries to breathe. So it gets really, really hot, like a greenhouse in there. So it's just, with the row cover, it's very, very, very difficult to figure out which ones are good. So I use whatever I can find. Generally 1.5 ounces and 1 ounce are pretty readily available. You can get the really thin stuff, but you get 1 or 2 degrees protection on those. So if you get the 1/2 ounce, those are really, really cheap, but you don't get the protection that you initially want to get with the row cover. So us as farmers, I would consider myself a lazy farmer because I don't like to do a lot of hard manual labor, which it's kind of funny, but we figure out a way where we can put on row covers without having to do a lot of manual labor. So when we first started doing row covers on strawberries, we used to walk the row covers to the end of the field, pull them by hand on our backs, and then we used to roll them up by hand. So we used to fold them like a big blanket in halves and halves to the end, and then put them on a pallet. And then I was like, man, this is just too much work for what it is. So we figured out a way, Isaac and myself, my younger brother Isaac and myself, we came out with a system where we roll them up on a piece of 2 or 3 inch pipe with our post auger, the auger on the front of the skid steer for poles and stuff. So we roll them up like that, and then with the hay spike on the skid steer, we put the hay spike in here, and the tractor pulls the row cover all the way to the end. So the only manual labor we are doing is, of course, the sandbags and pulling the row covers to cover as many rows as possible. So on a 50-foot row cover, we can get 6-7 rows depending on how close and how straight the rows are. So we try to minimize the manual labor portion of the row covers as much as we possibly could. So right now, the only manual labor, like I said, is pulling the row cover to cover as many rows as possible and keeping it tight, and the sandbags. Everything else is done by the tractor, which whenever we were doing 10,000 strawberries, that was totally fine. But whenever you 5 times that and grow 50,000 strawberries, it's a lot more row covers. Like I said, this year we'll have 9 sections of row covers we got to do, and I'm not sure how many sandbags we got to do, but it's a lot. We put a sandbag every 10 foot along the strawberry field here. Okay, let me get the row cover, Isaac, and then we'll tie it. Hey, where's, oh, changing the skids here. Okay, back it up straight. Good job. 2 guys in the truck. See, Isaac, you should let me do that by the time you got on the tractor, right? You're fishing right now. Hold up. TJ, we're still pulling the roll here. Okay, let me play. Alrighty, folks, just like that, all the strawberry plants are covered. We struggled a little bit, took about 4 hours to cover all the strawberries, but it finally went well. And straw row covers are pretty simple. All you need is sandbags, about every 10 foot along each section here on all the perimeter, and of course the row cover just float on top. That's why they're called floating row covers. So we finally got all 9 sections done, 9 sections of row covers, covered 50,000 plants of strawberries. That's about 3.5–4 acres worth of strawberries and row covers. It's a lot of work, a lot of hassle. Now in the fall season, we're not planning on uncovering these until March, just because we won't have to, since it is getting colder, the nights are getting colder, winter's coming, and we won't need to uncover them. Come March, we're gonna need to go ahead and uncover them and start tending to the plants. The plants are gonna kick it into gear, start producing the blossoms, and then we're gonna use these same row covers as frost protection in the spring season. Alright, y'all, that's gonna be it for today's video. If you guys haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you guys have any questions or comments about row covers, leave them down in the description box below. I'm gonna do my best to answer those questions or make an entire video out of it. So thanks for watching up to this point. You guys have a good day, and we will see you next time.